Good morning and welcome back to my channel and the readings of The Projection of the Astral Body by Sylvan Muldoon and Hereward Carrington. We are continuing on page 117, chapter Duplicate and Shifting Motivity. Thank you so much for supporting me and liking and sharing my page. I do appreciate you, thank you. Okay, let's get started. A tremendous force operates within the astral cable. I have often wished that some method could be devised for measuring this force in physical terms. That is, to determine just how much material weight could be moved by this force, if the cable could make contact with it. I firmly believe that while projected and within cord activity range, if I could obtain some tangible grip upon a physical object, the force in the cable could move that object, even though the latter weighed a ton. From my experience, I have good reason to believe that a free cable can extend outward from the body, i.e. a cable or rod without an astral body at its end, and that this free cable can exert and push and pull action, and can transmit motivity, which, under certain conditions, can cause raps and move objects. One of the methods by which clairvoyance is said to be facilitated is by means of the astral line of force. Granting this to be true, it would be possible for the motivity of the subject's body to shift outside the body, along the line of force, and with his bodily motivity thus exteriorized, the subject would be powerless for the time, although his astral body would still be in coincidence, and he could be conscious. It has often been noted that a medium has been in this condition of the powerlessness when raps were produced. Page 118, a rap produced at will during exteriorization of motivity. In fact, I have produced raps myself while in this state. I recall very distinctly waking up one morning and finding myself minus my motivity. I reasoned with myself thus: if my motivity is extending outside my body, and I am now conscious, why cannot I will that a rap be produced? And I did will with determination that a rap should come to the dresser. A rap should come on the dresser. The rap was produced. As a rule, however, when one gets into this condition of exteriorized motivity, he becomes too excited ever to think of doing such a thing, and instead of willing his motivity away from him, he is only anxious for its return. As to moving objects when the astral body itself is projected on the end of the line of force, under certain conditions this can be done, and we shall discuss this later. For the moment, the point I wish to emphasize is this: motivity can shift across the astral body, just as sensibility can. It can make quick shifts or slow shifts. And during astral projection, within cord activity range, dual motivity can exist to some degree. Of this I am certain. When this occurs, every move of the projected end of the line force reacts upon the subject's physical anatomy, usually in a slight manner, depending upon the amount of motivity still existing there, which, as a rule, is very little. With this condition of duplicate motivity, a move of the astral arm will produce a twitch in the physical arm, much as a dog's legs will twitch in his dreams. Duplicate motivity is much less common than duplicate sensibility, some persons seeming to be more inclined to it than others. It is present in the unconscious and the dream state more than in the conscious state. Here is a mystery which is too deep for me, but I know it to be the truth. The one can move an object in his dream, but that the object does not move until 2 seconds later in reality. I have had an experience of this character myself. All of which reminds me of what Sir Oliver Lodge has stated in discussing the phenomena produced by Eusapia Palladino. He says in part, the fact that the medium's body undergoes sympathetic or corresponding movements or twitches is very instructive and interesting. Sometimes, when she, the medium, is going to push a distant object, she will make a little sudden push with her hand in this direction, and immediately afterward the object moves. Once this was done, for my edification, with constantly the same object, a bureau in the corner of the room. When 6 or 7 feet away, the time interval between the push and the movement of the object was something like 2 seconds. When the accordion is being played, the fingers of the medium are moving in a thoroughly appropriate manner, and the process reminds one of the twitching of a dog's legs when he is supposed to be dreaming that he is chasing a hare. It is as if Eusapia were dreaming that she was fingering the instrument, and dreaming it so vividly that the instrument was being actually played. It is as if a dog dreamt of the chase with such energy that a distant hare was really captured and killed, as by a phantom dog, and fanciful as for the moment it may seem, and valueless as I suppose such speculations are. I am, I confess, at present more than half disposed to look into some such direction for a clue to these effects. In an idealistic conception of nature, it has by many philosophers been considered that thought is the reality, and that material substratum is but a consequence of thought. Whew. So, in a minor degree, it appears here, it is as if, let us say, the dream of the entranced person were vivid enough physically to affect the surrounding objects and actually produce objective results, to cause not only real and permanent movements of ordinary objects, but also temporary fresh aggregations of material particles in the extraordinary objects. These aggregations being objective enough to be felt, heard, seen, and probably even photographed while they last. While I say that one can dream of moving a physical object, and that, if the object be moved, it is not moved in reality until about 2 seconds after one has dreamed that he has moved it. I mean just what I say, regardless of the fact that common sense would deny this. Perhaps this peculiarity will be fathomed in the future. When the physical body twitches in a dream, it is often because the dream body moves, and duplicate motivity causes the reaction above the former. The phantom can lie above the physical body during sleep, of course, and duplicate involuntary actions. The phantom can lie above the physical body during sleep, of course, and duplicate involuntary actions take place. For example, nervous twitches or similar unconsciousness movements of the part of the physical body. It is easier to move a physical object with a free line of force than with the astral body projected on the line of force, for in the former case the motivity is concentrated at that point, while in the latter case the motivity is required to manipulate the astral body, and if the body has its motivity restored to it, the motivity is diffused throughout it. I have often spoken of the tremendous magnetic pull exerted by the line of force during interiorization. It is interesting to know that this drawing in force is identical with the force which draws the materialized spirit back into the cabinet, and many prominent experimenters have found that when anything happens to the materialized form, it reacts upon the body of the medium in the cabinet. In other words, there is a line of force between the medium's physical body and the materialized form. The theory might be advanced that, on many occasions at least, it is the medium's astral body which materializes, constituting a duplicate material body of the medium outside the cabinet. Should this happen, and it does, what would the skeptic say? He would pronounce the manifestation a fraud, and insist that he had examined the medium's flesh and blood body. And to prove his argument, he would stick a hatpin into the wrist of the materialized form, which of course would react upon the body of the medium inside the cabinet, and this scar would prove, to the skeptic who knows nothing of repercussion and reaction, that the medium had been faking. I do not by any means say that all mediums are genuine, but there is a possibility for a genuine medium to be discredited. That's very interesting. If the physical cable be severed while the astral body is projected, death to the physical body is the result. This is apparently what has taken place in certain seances, when the body has been seized, which, in such cases, proved to be the astral body of the medium. It was prevented, as it were, from being drawn back into the physical. In some cases, which are on record, I believe, the medium has died in the cabinet. Wow. I'm well acquainted with an old occultist called Full, who told me that on one occasion a little girl who was sleeping in a hammock outside the seance room, while a materialization seance was in process inside, materialized in the seance room and claimed to be the daughter of a member of the circle, who had a spirit daughter about the same age, yet the form was that of the girl sleeping in the hammock outside, and had not in any way transformed to represent the girl she claimed to be. The girl who slept in the hammock knew nothing of it on awaking. We know that thought can affect the form of the astral body, and it might be possible for some spirit wishing to manifest to impress the unconscious astral body of the medium into a form like of its own, and then talk through it. However, this is a subject into which we have not time to enter now. We have gone a long way in our discussion of duplicate motivity, but I believe that it has been worth our while. That's page 121, and then we will progress on to chapter 6, page 122, the purpose of sleep. So this is a bite-sized chunk today, because I just want to separate them out a little more, because that one was quite, there's a lot to take in on that one. So thank you very much, and I will upload another one a little bit later today. Thank you very much.